I'm Anil Kumar. Here is the first video on how to solve quadratic equations part 2. We'll discuss steps to solve quadratic equations and then try to solve. Question number 1. The perimeter of a right triangle is 36 centimeter. If the hypotenuse is 15 centimeter, find the length of other two sides. We should begin by making a sketch. It may be a rough sketch, but still it's kind of important to sketch and then define variables. Since we are working on a right triangle, assume this to be a right triangle. Hypotenuse is the longest side opposite to the 90 degrees angle, so that is 15 centimeters for you. Now let the other two sides be A and B. Okay. Now once you define your variables, in this case the variables are two sides whose length is A and B. Now why did we take that as our variable? Since the question says find the length of the other two sides. So always you have to see what you have to find. So this word is a key word and it defines what you need to set aside as variables, correct? So when it says find the length of other two sides, hypotenuse is given to us. The other two sides, we also call them legs of this right triangle. Let them be A and B. So we'll say let the other two sides be A and B. So that is how we have defined a variable. Now if you read the question once again, it says the perimeter of a right triangle is 36. Now perimeter is sum of all the sides, correct? What is perimeter? Perimeter is sum of all sides. Now in this case perimeter is given to us as 36, and if you add them up you get A plus B plus 50, right? The units are centimeter. We'll include units in the answer only. We can rearrange this equation and we get 36 minus 15 equals to A plus B. 36 minus 15, 6 take away 5 is 1, 3 take away this is 21 equals to A plus B. So sum of these two sides is 21. We'll call this as our equation number 1. So the strategy here is first define variables, right? So that's first step. And second, need to write equation depending on what is given to us. Every statement can be translated as an equation, right? So that's the first statement for us. And it simplifies to A plus B equals to 21. Now the second statement is if the hypotenuse is 15 centimeters, find the length. Now how is hypotenuse related with these two sides? That should give you the second equation, correct? You can apply the Pythagorean theorem, which is A square plus B square should be 15 square, right? So we have A square plus B square equals to 15 square. So that gives you the second equation. Let me write this here. It's equation number 2. Now we have two different equations to work with and two variables. So you can always solve this equation. Now in this particular case, we'll use the technique of substitution. From equation 1, we can isolate one of these variables, substitute that variable in equation number 2, right? That's what we're going to do. So we'll isolate from this equation, let us say A, right? So we'll take away B from both sides. So what we get here is 21 minus B equal to A, right? So what we did was that we took away B from both the sides. And so we isolated A. We'll call this as our equation number 3. We know one variable in terms of the other. we can substitute this in our equation 2. So if I substitute a in a square plus b square, I get a is 21 minus b, right? We get 21 minus b whole square plus b square equals to 15 square. Is it okay? So we get our equation which is in single variable. So at this stage, what we have done is we have substituted the value of a here, which is 21 minus b. Correct. So now we have an equation which is in single variable. So we'll solve this equation, find the value of b. The equation is 21 minus b whole square plus b square equals to 15 square. Now you can expand this. What is a minus b whole square equals to? Let me write here. What is a? Let's use x minus y. What is x minus y whole square equals to? That is x square minus 2xy plus y square, right? So we'll use this. X is 21, y is b for us. So what we get here is 21 square minus 2 times will give a 42b plus b square. Then we have b square here equals to 15 square. Now b square is 2b square minus 42b. We can bring this 15 square on the left side, correct? Anyway, let's also find these numbers. 21 square is 441. So let me rewrite this as 441 minus 42b plus 2b square equals to 15 square, which is 225. Now we have quadratic equation in b. We can rewrite this as 2b square minus 42b. Taking to the left side, we get plus 441 minus 225 equals to 0. Now 441 minus 225 is equals to 216. So we get 2b square minus 42b plus 216 equal to 0. Now here we can divide everything by 2, or you can factor 2, right? So we get, if I take away 2, we get b square minus 21b dividing by 2, 216 divided by 2 is 108 equals to 0. So we have a quadratic equation. Now 2 cannot be 0, correct? But b square minus 21b plus 108 could be 0. So we have to solve this quadratic equation. So you could now use either quadratic formula or you could factor, correct? Factoring means you're looking for two terms, let's say p and q, whose product is 108 and whose sum is minus 21. Well, the two terms are minus 12 and minus 9. So if you add 12 and 9, you get minus 21. If you multiply, 12 times 9 is 108, right? So factoring 2 helps. It makes it simpler to factor. Okay, so we'll factor and solve this one. So we get 2 times. So we could write this quadratic equation as b minus 12 times b minus 9 equal to 0. So that gives us two values of b. B could be equals to 12 or b equals to 9, right? That will make it 0. Anyway, you could use one of these values and find the value of the other side. We know a is 21 minus b, right? So we know a is 21 minus b. If I take a value of b as 12, we get a as 9. Do you see that? So basically, either way, one of the sides we can say is 9, the other side is 12. Do you see that? And the units are centimeters. So that is how you could actually solve such a question. Let me write down the answer now. So our answer is, the sides are 12 centimeter and 9 centimeter, correct? So that is the answer for this particular question. Important part here is to understand the steps which we have done or taken to solve this. Now, Coming back to this solving quadratic equation, which was b square minus 21b plus 108, or the equation before it, 2b square minus 42b plus 216 equals to 0, you could have used quadratic formula to find the value of b, right? So let me give you this quadratic formula also somewhere here. If I have equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, then the value of x can be taken out as minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So you could use this formula taking the equation in this form. A, B, C, A and B are coefficients of x squared and x respectively, and C is a constant. You'll get the same answer, right? So if factoring is difficult at times, then use quadratic formula to find the answer. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to share my videos and post comments. Thank you and all the best.